because you're not on the list. Does that make you feel good? We are human. We are human. So with customers, you got to treat them like that. You got to treat customers as they have given you faith by giving you business. How can you do something for them that's going to really improve their business? And a lot of the times you end up spending extra money, extra hours, extra time to do this, because it's not an easy task. Because if you're going to empower somebody's business, you have to spend time to understand their business, what are they doing. There may be things that they are doing which was not in the spec. Then the question is, are you going to, is it something you can give away for free, or you want a demo, or you want to explain, how you can enhance the business. All these are success factors that nobody talks about. Very rarely. I mean, you always keep on hearing sell. But the sale is actually only the beginning. It's only the beginning. The trust and the relationship building up is after the sale. Okay? So, you guys better stop me, otherwise
Questions? Yeah. How did you go manage your regional expansion? How did you do that?
Okay, how did you break into regional markets first, and then how do you manage it?
Okay. The regional market expansion, we started, you see, for me, it was, as I mentioned to you, the joint venture partner was very restrictive. So they kept on restricting us to Malaysia. I had two approaches to the problem. I told, one approach would be ignore these guys and go and do business without telling them, which is what most people tend to do. Then you end up in a conflict. I chose always to be very loyal to my agreements, and I did not do that. But what I did was I kept on presenting the case to them, meeting after meeting, that they are losing opportunities. I did not fight with them to say that they are not giving me the opportunity to go to the market. I said, you are losing opportunity in India, you are losing opportunity in Thailand. Address this, address it. You set up, you appoint a partner, you do this. Of course they couldn't. Or at least in India they did appoint a partner, but in other places they couldn't. So finally they said, look, we are missing out on too many things, you better go. So it's how you address it. You can do it the typical way, which is confrontation, or basically just putting a blind eye and doing it by the side. So I did my homework. I created the market. I showed them what the market was, and I kept on showing them the market. It took me about 1.5 years. I had to be patient. And then I got my first breaks into, they opened the doors to Thailand, so we went into Thailand and we made our first success there. In the business that I am, it's a very challenging entry into any market, because the selling cycles can be anything from 1 to 3 years. Because we are dealing with utilities, we are dealing with large government organizations, so the product approval, certification, type tests, all this stuff. So you're talking about big investments. And of course with the multinational partner and a global name, we were able to enter the Thai market, we were able to get into Indonesia, and as we went on, of course the business had to be driven by us, not by the partners. So each market you have to then find and identify. I mean, you have to first of all do your homework about who your potential customers are, how you're going to organize your strategy to get in, what is your local support, are you going to go through a joint venture, a partnership, an appointment, an agency agreement, or you're going to set up business yourself there. I mean, these are all decisions that have to be made, and within a period of 2.5 years, we were able to enter into 10 markets, 10 countries. But the reality is that the home base is still very critical. You have to have the support of the home base. And here, where is Radha? He has left, is it? Oh, okay. And here, because Radha we were talking earlier, he said, forget about Malaysia, go and export. I said, I think people who have, I'm not saying that he doesn't have the experience, that's not the right word. I think entrepreneurs have a different experience. Yeah, because it is not an academic situation that you have money and you have a product, you can go and market it anywhere in the world. You can have all the money and you still can't market it. So it's not about money. It's not, it's a combination of everything. And in this case, if you don't have a home reference or a home base at least that feeds you, then without that you are not in a position to get out into the world at all. Of course, that may not be true for all businesses. Some technologies are so good, or you may have something that is really so advanced that at the startup stage itself, some big boys want to take you up and take you over or whatever. But that kind of opportunities are not many, and most of us are just doing incremental advances, and we have a different experience. So internationalizing is a big challenge, and also the selection of where you go is very important, because the money that you burn when you try to internationalize, for example, if you're a Malaysian company and you try to sell in Singapore, that is like putting your money into the fire. If you try to sell in Australia, it's like putting money into the fire. You will never get acceptance if you forget about it. The moment they hear you're a Malaysian company, they're not interested. It's a mindset. Again, I don't want to generalize it. If you have something very exciting, very interesting, you may find the right audience or the right partner in Singapore. Australia is very different. Australia, they want only local companies. Their business model is very different. If you are not an Australian local company, you can be a Malaysian company, but you must have a local base in Australia. If you go there as a Malaysian company to sell into the Australian market, nobody will ever touch you. Because their concept in Australia, they're not interested in the price of your product. They are interested in the functionality, support, and so the criteria of evaluation are different. So every market has different type of requirements. You've got to understand the culture. You've got to understand. I even until now have not been able to get into the Australian market. And it's not possible, because every time I put quotations from here, they will just drop your quote. They won't even consider it. So after a while, we learned that this is not possible. You have to either be in Australia or you cannot operate in Australia. So internationalizing has a lot of risk factors. I think also many companies that I know were very successful in Malaysia. They tried to become international companies. They went out typical places where you get acceptance very fast: Indonesia, India. The problem with this type of expansion, if you do it very fast and you don't understand the local requirements, you don't understand the payment terms and the security of payment, you can end up getting $1 million projects and coming home with no money. Many companies I know have disappeared, wiped out. Very successful companies in Malaysia wiped out because of one or two such bad projects. They go and execute the project, never get any money. The mindset of working in Malaysia is, you know the customer, you are here, you can meet them very often. As our locals say, you can touting lah. You've got something not according to spec, you discuss, you argue, you finally come to some compromise. But there are many countries where you cannot do that. Middle East, for example, their project execution style, a lot of the countries there like Dubai, like Qatar, the project managers are so efficient and they use such good tools. They are of course not locals, they are all Americans and Europeans. They will keep you busy just with providing reports. You need a team of people just to provide daily reports. I know a construction company here that was doing a project in Qatar, and there were guys on site from their customer side who are every day on site at 7 o'clock in the morning. They are counting how many staff are coming to work.